And Daf Kuf Aleph Amud Aleph. The Gemara brought a machloikes Rav Shmuel if you have to Kiddush Makom Seudah. The Kuf Aleph Aleph. You see Kuf Aleph Aleph? Kuf Aleph one dot.
Yeah.
Zog the Gemara El Rav Lama
Very back.
top line.
Oh,
El Rav Lama Leila Kiddush Bebeis. According to Rav, you don't have to have Kiddush Makom Seudah. You can hear it in the shul. What do you need it at home? So the answer is Kedeloitze bottom of Nebeisai to be moitze the family. Shmuel, according to Shmuel, Lamal Kiddush Mevechnishta. Why do you have to have a Kiddush in the shul? Anyway, you're not yoitzend. You have to have a Makom Suda. It's like Allah Furke Orchim Midechebasa. To be moitze the Orchim, the Ochel Vashas of Gana Mevechnishta, they eat and they sleep in the shul. What the Shmuel is like Hameda, Shmuel says, and Kiddush Abba Makom Suda. Shmuel says Kiddush has to be Makom Suda. Shmuel says, "Ein kiddush ella b'makom suda." You see, talk about Shmuel, and Reb Shmuel comes in.
make a kiddush.
So, time with Shmuel and kiddush ella b'makom suda. So, the Bnei Yeshiva were thinking, when is the problem? You lost your kiddush. If you want mebayis labais, ava memakom lamakom machad beisa. If they want memakom lamakom, loy, not a problem. Rabbanon Batachlifa said, Zimin Sagin, there was a lot of times, Hava Kamina made the Shmuel, I was standing in front of the Shmuel. Vinoch is Migralada, and he went from upstairs to downstairs, Vada Makadosh, and he made a second time Kiddush. So we see that not only from house to house, also from upstairs to downstairs was a problem. But if it was Mepina Lapina Bachad Cheder, not a problem. That's the way Tosis learns. Reb Huna saw ben Kiddush Makom Suda. Reb Huna also holds that Kiddush has to be Makom Suda. Reb Huna Kodesh V'Yekle Shrage. He made Kiddush and the fire was blown out. The Rabbi Brei, and he brought his kalim to the garden of his rabbi's son. Rabbi Shirag over there was light. Kodesh and he made Kiddush and he tasted something. Alma Kasabe and Kiddush Ela Makom Suda. Rabbi Sabe and Kiddush Ela Makom Suda. Abaye said, Kevin and Beimar, we're in the house of our Rebbe, Rabba, Kevin McCaddish, when he used to make Kiddush on Malon, he would say to us, Tim and me, do taste something. The as Lisa Lushpiza, when you go to your house where you're staying, sleeping, the fire, the candle will be burnt out, you're not going to make Kiddush. However, the Kiddush the Ochel and Afkisu, and this Kiddush you're not yet, then Kiddush
Why didn't you eat over there?
That's what he said. Eat in my house. Kiddush and eat in my house. In order for it to be Kiddush, you're safe. This way, yeah, Kiddush, b'makom suda, you're safe. So we have Kiddush. So we have three stories: a story of Shmuel, and a story of Rav Huna, and a story of Rab. Three stories. My Rebbe did everything like Rab. Only three things he did like Shmuel. These three things he did like Shmuel. He allowed to put tzitzis from one bag to another, and to light a candle from mitzvah one from the other, and not to be scared about dragging a bench in Shabbos that you're going to make a pit. The Tanya of Shimon the Mita Kiss of Asafs Shabbos So only three things he did like Shmuel. What happened? We hear he did the Kiddush also like Shmuel. So the Gemara Chumra the Rav Ovid. He only did the Chumras like Rav. Kula the Rav Lav Ovid. He didn't do like the Kulas of Rav. And this was a Kula that Rav said you don't need to have Kiddush Suda. And this he went like Shmuel. Anyway, we have three stories in the Gemara: one of Shmuel himself, one of Huna, and one of Rav. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Af Yidei Yayin Nami Yotz." Rabbi Yochanan said that also not only Kiddush Yotz when you go Mebayis Labayis. Also, yain yoytzim abayis labayis. Was it Rabbi Yochanan today?
Meaning that it doesn't have to make another golf in the other
Yeah,
house.
it doesn't have to make golf in the other. It doesn't make Kiddush in the other house. Both it doesn't. Both. Was it Rabbi Yochanan today? Amar Chanan, Amar Abaye, Amar Pedos, Amar Rabbi Yochanan echet sheni yain, echet sheni mokim ein tzarich lavarich. That you don't have to make another bracha. If you go mokim, so you don't have to make another Kiddush. You don't have to make another golf. Meisvi for Gemara for Akasha, we're going to Braisa. Shini Makam Tzarech Lavarach. You do have to make a bracha when you make Shini Makam. Shini Yain ain't Tzarech Lavarach. If to make a second time a gofen, but if you go mimakom lamakom, you do have to make again a gofen. So you want to tifte Rabbi Yechon, tifte. Okay, all geschlagen Rabbi Yechon. Yosef read about Rav and Kameder Pfis of Yosef Chizuk come and trade Ravoni. He said, "Name of Rav Hoda Adamar Shinemakim Sarach Levore." This is what he said. Shinemakim, you need a broch. Lashana lemebayis lebayis. That's only if it was mebayis lebayis. Ava mimakim lamakim loy. If you went mimakim lamakim, it's not a problem. It's only a problem by Slabais. Rashi says makom lamakim by Slalia. It's not a problem.
It's in building is okay.
Yeah. Amalei. The bidi barav in the hochitin in the one sense of the way of hinik. Yeah, the sound is on. You can hear? Yeah, it's good. Amar Amar le bidi barav in the hochitin in the one sense of the way of hinik. Amar le masis the way of hinik havasach. Bottom line is, he said there's a mission in this way. Well, Abraisa this way, I'm sorry. What did the Rebhuna have to tell me? If it's Abraisa, it's Abraisa. It's clear. So the Gemara, Ve'el Rebhuna Masnissen Kamashmalan, the Rebhuna has to tell me a Mishnah, Abraisa. The Gemara Rebhuna Masnissen Lo Shemela, he didn't hear this Abraisa. Okay. This is bet somewhere we're holding. I just want to read over the Gemaras quickly, so before we... So we left off last week at Rashi Taka holds that there's a difference between the story of Kiddush. Lagabi Kiddush, we said that Shmuel went mebayis laliyah or maliyah lebayis, and he made Kiddush again. And Babrocha, we said, doesn't matter. Babrocha, you can go mebayis laliyah. Babrocha, you can go mebayis laliyah. No, yeah, not only a moitzi. By Kiddush, Rashi says, like we had the story of Shmuel. He made Kiddush by Bayis and he went up Aliyah, or he made Kiddush by Aliyah, went down to the Bayis. He lost his Kiddush, he made Kiddush again. Lagavi Barocha say he made a shackle on a cup of water.
Second floor.
So it doesn't matter, second floor. That's what Rashi holds. Osvis probably doesn't like it. Why doesn't he like it? It's a little funny. On the one hand, so according to Shmuel, Kumtois, that Kiddush is more chomer. But if you look at Rabbi Yochanan and Rav, they forget. Rav said, brachas, matter. You can make shackle here and then finish in Texas. Kiddush, so like it's for us afuchas. This doesn't. Hoitzes learns that Kiddush and bracha exactly the same rules. Kiddush and bracha is exactly the same rules. That's the way Tosfos learns. The Kiddush and bracha is exactly the same rules. And in this Gemara, some say Tosfos had a different even girsa. Some look at the Masoris Shas on your left side on the top, second line. Loy shana lebayis lebayis. Avo mepina lepina loy. Some say the Tosfos had this girsa ago that by bracha loy shana by mepina lepina, if it was the hainu mepina lepina b'cheder echad, it's not a problem. But cheder lecheder would be a problem. So really, Kiddush and bracha is exactly the same din, and that's the way we paskin in Shulchan Aruch. That's the way we paskin in Shulchan Aruch. That Kiddush and bracha is exactly the same. If you go mebayis lebayis, it doesn't even help if you have das, not das. Cheder lecheder. We say it's considered a new place. You have to make another kiddush, another bracha. But if you had das, it helps. How do we know das helps? Because it's Yerushalmi. Even though we learned last week that Ran says no, but we hold that it is that Yerushalmi does stand.
So what I'm doing wrong, and I make a kiddush for the woman, I take from you kiddush till it up, perhaps make kiddush and drink from it. And then I need to wash.
Shulchan Aruch holds that if you have das, it's good.
Also, I have kavanah.
Okay, so that's good.
That's good.
That's good. Hey. There's two Mishnah Berurahs that I want to do.
I'm wondering if the Rebbe made a Kiddush in 770. Right, the Rebbe made Kiddush.
He ate right there. It's very hard to, but Azoy. And the Rebbe made Kiddush, and in the sukkah he had a sink.
No,
The Rebbe had a sink in the sukkah.
when the Rebbe came, let's say, kosher brocha. So the Rebbe.
The Rebbe never, remember when I
I don't remember Rebbe making Kiddush. The Rebbe washed.
he washed the Kiddush he made in the morning.
Right. So the Rebbe never made Kiddush since 1706.
Yeah, Shabbos.
When he came 1:30, the Rebbe made Kiddush.
Yeah, he made Kiddush. He made Kiddush and he ate sponge cake.
So the women that in the second floor, the Yotze, the Rebbe Kiddush.
Pashas, the same room. Unless it's a good question. Unless you're going to say it's a different room. The truth is, it's very hard to hear the Rebbe's Kiddush. I don't know if anyone heard. The Rebbe made it very quietly. Nothing. Could be Bedafka, yeah. I don't know. The point, the Rebbe made it very quietly. So I don't know. Let's try it. If the Rebbe made it loud, so
Abdullah, the Rebbe make loud.
still you could say it's Cheder L'Cheder. The bias after you have das, it works.
And you see the one room.
Right. Right. And you see also it's the second mind. So you have das and so you see. So
Remember the Rebbe for bringing the sukkahs, he made the Kiddush in the sukkah and they brought the Rebbe to wash in the sukkah.
the Rebbe, when he had in the sukkah, that's the thing. He didn't walk out. He made Kiddush and he washed right over there.
Somebody bought this and the Rebbe washing this.
No, they had a sink.
So the Rebbe washing this.
Ada Yom, if you see over there,
That's the sink. That's the sink.
That's the sink.
So the Rebbe washing the sink and
Yeah,
then went back to his stuff. So
yeah, and the Rebbe had a second sukkah.
right.
The
small one.
the small one. So could be the Rebbe never made Kiddush there. Could be the Rebbe only ate their snack.
Right.
Also later they made a second sukkah for the Rebbe where label grown his offices.
Yeah, but
A big skylight,
right.
and they would pick up the skylight. I'm almost sure Adayom that room has also a sink in the room. And Kor of Levade that they put in that
Yes,
sink.
it's a sink right there.
The Kor of
There's a sink right
Levade
there on the left side.
that they put the sink. So for the Rebbe, because I think
That was in the later years.
very later years.
Yeah.
But also in the early years, when the Rebbe's sukkah was out, they had a sink there.
Well, the Rebbe sukkah also had a sink.
Part of 770.
And the small sukkah the Rebbe had outside
They didn't even have a
70,
women's
also the Rebbe had
bathroom.
a sink inside.
Make
Light,
Thing. They had
bookshelf,
that
light, and sink.
and they had a sink.
Yeah, they didn't, when they made the first part where the driveway used to be, they forgot to put a women's bathroom in the end of the The women had to go down in pairs and one had to wait outside when they were going in. To the basement?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, to the basement, yeah.
I didn't know. You're talking about the early years. In
Yeah.
70 or 60?
In the 60s,
60s, wow.
before they made the two expansions.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they made the first expansion, remember coming back from the summer and see it, nice. Used to go up over here, and there was a coffee shop, used to lift up the skylight in the center, there was 5 skylights. Then they put a drop ceiling so you couldn't see it anymore. And you could put the arms down to see
What's going on?
Rebbe and the Rashak.
Dancing. Wow.
Unbelievable.
No, I didn't born yet.
Okay. There's two shtiklach in the Mishnah Brura I want to do. But because time is late, I'm going to skip the first shtickle, which is Dafka Zeh Lomdish and Gishmak. And I'm going to go straight to the second shtickle in the Mishnah Brura.
Thank you.
Because this is very, very, very noyeya. Okay.
Halacha base.
Yeah.
In Kiddush B'Bayit Chaim.
In Kiddush B'Bayis Ech, the Mnas Lechel Sham, V'ach Kechnim Lechel B'Makam Acher. A person made Kiddush in one house. He thought he did. Then he decided to go somewhere else. He has to make again Kiddush. Second place. Kiddush V'lo Yisod. If he made Kiddush and he didn't eat. He would start reading a book after the Kiddush Lo Yotza. Tzorech Lechel B'Makam Kiddush Lo Yalta. Right away. If he let a long time go by, then that's it. He lost his Kiddush.
So the Kavana is very important.
What's important to notice here is
No, he met Kavana. He said he was planning to eat there, and then in Lach Bedato, I ate somewhere else. So the first one was Kavana.
the main thing is that he, because Begashmis, he went to a different place, he lost his Kiddush.
Even if he drank Revius,
And that's not what he's talking about.
he's not talking he drank Revius.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
He drank something.
No.
He didn't buy
didn't.
the
Yeah. Okay. Weiter. Mishnah Brura. La'alter. Sif Yud Beis La'alter. V'layafsek Tfilas Man Kotzer. Just like we say in Mokim, you're not allowed to make a hefsek in Mokim. Look at the Kiddush. You're not allowed to make a hefsek in Zman. Which is a Kiddush. Like, how do you know that you're not allowed to make a hefsek in Zman? So Devin the Grot, the kvetches, and he kvetches. He tries to find the Gemara and Atois was sehr schwer. Like, the Mariel says. The Mariel says it's a befeirische Gemara. Why? He says, the Mariel says it's a befeirische Gemara. The Gemara said that Rabbi told the students they should make Kiddush and eat something in his house. Why? Maybe they'll come home.
And the candle not going to be anymore.
Yeah. So what's the big deal? Let them have. He holds, the Mariel holds, that if you have bedas, even if you go mebayis labayis, you don't lose it. So he says you tell them they should have bedas, eat at home. They come home and be dark. They can't find the food. When they wake up in the morning after Maidani, they'll eat then. So Muzman Zogan, that if you wait a long Zman, you lost your Kiddush. So go to sleep 6 hours later.
How much is that money? It doesn't say.
Sounds like a long Zman. It's very long, by the way. Not like I said last week from Abram Chaim. No, say 3 to 9 minutes. But anyway, bottom line is, Zman Umokim, in the Maimet, the Lubavitch and Bocher says, please looking together. אתה גאון, אתה יכול... אני לא גאון, אני צריך בפנים.
יורם גאון.
And so,
לא יודע.
אני לא זמר גם. So,
he was almost Rosh Ha'ir in Yerushalayim.
Oh yeah,
He was running almost. Yeah.
he make everyone bored with his sad songs. Okay, so okay. The Mitzvah Maimer, Lubavitch, the boy says, Zman and Mokim Zanalach Mekudesh. The Eibishter created the world with Zman and Mokim. Just like in Mokim, that you're not allowed to have a hefsek and make Kiddush. And one Mokim have the Achila and a second Mokim. Same thing as Zman. You're not allowed to make a hefsek in Zman. You're not allowed to make a hefsek in Zman. Okay. Zogt in Mishnah Berurah Sekot Yud Beis L'Alta. V'lo yafsek afilu Zman kotzer. Ito iti. Okay. Yud Beis. V'lo yafsek. You see, v'lo yafsek afilu Zman kotzer. Kotzer b'shiore knesset g'dola. For whatever reason, he walked out of the room after Kiddush, and then he came back. L'mashal, like today, that the kitchen has a sink. So he walked out of the dining room to the kitchen to wash his hands, and then he came back to the dining room table. Ain't tzarich lachzor l'kadosh, machar sheyotz l'chutz. Even shel b'soifa asur b'makom Kiddush, ain't shon. Yesh cholkim b'zeh. Ken l'chatchila yazor b'zeh me'oid. Ach b'diavad b'frat she'tzarich lachzor tzarich. B'diavad den la'achma l'kadosh shenis. Have a kedvarim shem tzarich Seudah. So he says, "The machloikis, the Mag Avram." It sounds like he says that if between Kiddush and Amoitzi you walked out of the room, bingo, you lost your Kiddush. But the Knesset Gdola says no. So he says l'chatchila like the Mishnah Berurah, don't walk out of the room. But if you walked out of the room for a good reason, then you should be makel.
Most of the people after Kiddush go to wash in the kitchen.
Oh. So that's why I want to learn this thing good. Look in the beer aloch in the side la'alta. I'm be Mishnah Berurah b'mach kasav the b'shem Shiur Knesset Gdola. Over the other guy, the Sefer Yad Malachi. Shittel lebal Shiur Knesset Gdola davazeh. Kol kach ad shekosot l'ishtaker adover v'lonem hepech zeh. The Shiur Knesset Gdola says that if you want to say against me, forget about it. Forget about it. Yishtaker adover v'lonem hepech zeh. Hine b'mogen Avram Sefkotten. Hey,
What does Ishtaka mean?
from vergessen. Forget about it. Don't say hepech me. Forget about it. Hine b'mogen Avram. If you look in the Mogen Avram Sefkotten, hey, b'sefer kosev the miyotzim kemem time. It's all kind of shame. And if he went out, he has to make his Kiddush a second time. Here, you want to look in together with you? So it seems like it's a machloikis. It seems like it's a machloikis. Why am I so interested in this machloikis? Because, as I mentioned in the shiur last week, my Zayd was very makpid that he should have the water in the dining room.
The washing.
And I built a sink in my dining room for that reason. This is Taka the Shaila. What's the big deal if you walk out from the dining room to the kitchen to wash your hands and come back? So this is the machloikis. The Mishnah Berurah says the Knesset Gdolah says no big deal. And the Magen Avraham says, "Im yotzim kommen ben time tzarich l'kadashenis." V'ina mishulchan atz shita v'derech chayim v'chayod demakima im afashim v'isik pshuta. Im yotzim kommen af shechod tzarich l'kadashenis. All these poskim, it sounds like they hold. If you walk out of the room, you walk back and you have to make Kiddush again. V'chem avur b'yosef v'hed yebagraz. That's why it's mashma in the Shulchan Aruch from the Alter Rebbe. Skip the brackets for now. B'chdei shelo yechalko adodi. In order, it shouldn't be a machlokes between the Knesset Gdolah and the Magen Avraham. Neither, I want to say a pshat like this. The Magen Avraham loy koi raka the samachli. The Magen Avraham is talking about what the line earlier. The mighty Shan, the Magen Avraham is talking about mekoidim the nishta machmas oinus. A person waited a long time between Kiddush and Amoitzi because of an oinus. For whatever reason, it wasn't his fault. They ain't tzarich lachzor l'kadosh. He doesn't have to make again Kiddush. He never had intended to make such a long break. For this, the Magen says that. But if he walked out of the room, for sure tzarich lachzor l'kadosh. Hainam shum devalavach hikvar nishta aval metam yitzia lachutz lachud gam hu yizber kishar Knesset Gdolah elo choshiv shinui even the l'basoif sod v'makim Kiddush. Very unyeshivish pshat. I don't like it. I'm going to slug it up for 10 reasons anyway. But I have to point out right away that it is so not truth because that's a Shmita and Eitz La'asina, he says like this. The guy he has negative points over here. He has things going against him. He made a big hefsek between Kiddush and Amoitzi. Now he also walked out of the room. Enough is enough. If you just made a hefsek, you brought me a late note, why you came late, and why that between Kiddush and Amoitzi was so long. But now that you also walked out of the room, that's it. you gotta make Kiddush again.
You know what happened today in class? We got it exactly down pat.
Exactly, but this is so funny. Meilef v'chacheder yinglach segeit. You're mitzad of two things that have no connection. But that's a doichik pshat he's giving. He's giving a doichik pshat. I'm telling you right away, I don't like it. So it says v'smach lazeh. I'll bring a smach. Ma the kaim alon the dvar matun barak lachem koimam. We know that we paskin Ashkenazim paskin. That any like Amoitzi, we must make bracha chrein on kaimem shem yotzav achoz ein tzarich lachzor l'vorach. Atam delakibik hama order. If you walk out of the room, it doesn't matter. Same thing that we spoke about the Danish. Chili shouldn't walk out of bagel hole with the Danish, with the muffin. But if you already ate the kazayis of the muffin in the store and then you jumped in your car, you don't make another mezainis. But Isham, I feel if you walked out, you can still make bechsamazon. I feel given them at lachatchila mitzvah lachzam em kema. I'm in the law. You see a daitem em kema erishim en tzarich lachzam lavora. Kol shkem azeh. Deinu yoytzi de kiddush elam kein yachzav yisrael v'makom kiddush. Begam dim lo yachzer rigloi miltze de shosam et chila shaloi kadin. Den kiddush elam v'makom sude. Shitta de lo yisir daitem kema yorish. So he says that the svara, he made up his own svara. That just like if you walk out and you didn't make bechsamazon, that you can eat in the other place, the same thing, lagabi kiddush. Oh, but he has to realize himself, the svara, this steht nicht auf zwei Fis. So over there we say that even if I go out there, I could eat deer. Here is not saying I can have kiddush, make kiddush here, and das is going to help to have the suda deer to come back. You're starting already with a little bit of a zero here, and Bechlal. So he's going to later. This svara really he brings from contemporary posuk to him. But I helped Eibishter. I have a chokhmah, and I printed out. It's like a very very. It was kedai. So this guy who was a vice lachave with the Mishnah Berurah, he says I don't understand. Shmuel went upstairs. He was upstairs in his house, and he went downstairs. The Gemara says Zimyan Sagin. A lot of times it happened. Shmuel made Kiddush upstairs. He went downstairs. He made Kiddush again. Why didn't he go back upstairs? And Machlal, now retroactively, your Kiddush was a brocha levatola and you drank wine before Kiddush. Why didn't you go back upstairs? And same thing as Siv Beis. Siv Beis says a person makes Kiddush and he walked out the other house, make Kiddush again. Why make Kiddush again? Go back to your first house. So it's mashma that it doesn't help, that it doesn't work. That the lumdus that the Mishnah Berurah is saying is a funny lumdus, like I pointed out. It's not like amoitzi. Amoitzi, we say because you have to come back to the original place, you have a masir das, and therefore even in the other place you're allowed to eat. Here, it's clear from the poskim that you can't, if you make kiddush here, even if you had the das, you can't eat the sud in the other place.
Why is it a bracha levatel?
Because you Kaddish Shabbos, you made a bracha, Kaddish Shabbos twice tonight.
I made a coffin twice also.
Golf and it's up in Sanen and you drink wine.
What's the comment?
The kiddush. That's all. There's a kiddush. And then does you, if you could be matzel the first kiddush, why wouldn't you be matzel the first kiddush? So, let's read the brackets of here. Even though Tosfos says, and we pass like Tosfos, that kiddush and bracha is the same din. So just like by bracha, if it was water, if I walked out of the room, even if I came back to the original room, I lost my bracha. So the Chayda Kiddush should say the same thing. Yeah, he's right. You should say that. So Mishnah says no. If you went to the other room, it's the top line of the fat lines in the Mishnah Berurah. במפסה בחוסה מפני יציאס לחוץ בלבד, אף שחוסה. והטעם מפני הסח הדעת בלבד, וזה שייני קידוש. Over here, קידוש is different. בוודאי לא יסיח דייטוי, it wasn't מסיח דעת. Because he's planning to come back. Because he knew the kiddush would be ruined otherwise. Because he knows Allah is like the Mishnah Berurah. He thinks Allah is that way. ודאמר לדברים שתורנו ברכה לאחריהם הם קיימת. This thing is so krum. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand. If it's really like brocha, it should be like brocha. That also in the other room. The emes is that the dimyan is b'chal not oila ladas. By brocha, by kiddush is I don't know if I have b'chal shaychus to hes chadas. Chazal said you have to eat b'makom suda. It's the kiddush b'makom suda. Maybe make kiddush, you have to have the suda. It doesn't do it. My das. My das is not ma'ila moeded. It doesn't do my das. I would say why b'cheder l'cheder b'bayis echad like a kiddush works is because my das makes it into one mock. It's not because if I walked out and I didn't have das, it was hesach das. If I walk b'cheder l'cheder, it's a different mokim. And Chazal says that the kiddush from mokim suda. Yerushalmi is mechadish, and that's why Taka we hold that Yerushalmi is only b'bayis echad, not b'bayis l'bayis. Yerushalmi is mechadish. Why Taka we Mariel Taka holds that das would help. Even if it's mebayis lebayis, I had bedas to have kiddush
here, and I'm going
to eat there. The Manil holds it works, but we don't pass in that way. The Manil, I understand. The Manil holds that it has to do with hesach hadas. But if my das was, I'll make kiddush here and I'll walk 2 blocks and have the meal there.
That way. How do people make
We don't pass
and then eat inside the house?
It's a big problem. It's talking the problem. This is a big problem.
Chabad don't
This is
go out from this.
Chabad never has this problem.
Other people.
Like it's a big, massive problem. So, but we don't pass them that way.
Eat a kazayas. You have to eat kazayas.
Yeah, eat a kazayas.
Everybody eats a kazayas.
They eat a kazayas.
They make it.
Then you have to eat kazayas.
We don't have to make Kiddush again on the inside.
No,
you ate a
because they ate a kazayas.
Yeah,
But if it's raining,
They all pass.
but your shaila is right for a different reason. What if?
Mishra will make Kiddush and Shmini Atzeres in the Sukkah and the house.
And you
No,
didn't eat a
but
kazayas?
the
I didn't
zaynis.
realize because people don't realize this
You have to eat the
is
zaynis.
mebayis labayis
Of
labayis l'chidl l'chidl zera shveda sugya.
Gezegis mit sick mit the zaynis.
So, but your shaila is relevant also to a different question. If a person, if a person makes kiddush in the sukkah and then they go from the sukkah to the house to wash. So mebayis labayis, we paskin doesn't help that you have das. So if you, the only eitzah would be
To bring the
to give the best is to bring the water in the sukkah. Another eitzah is that everyone should drink a revis or eat a kazayis cake
Before washing.
before, and then you can go in.
The mice in the
Peop-
gates meko.
There's no limit chus for it.
How-
But the only limit chus would be to say that it's considered a cheder l'cheder l'bayis echad. That's in a sukkah that's attached to the house. But and maybe you could say even a backyard is considered, it's not a chotzer because it's mine, and that's not what Shulchan Aruch means. Bayis l'chotzer probably is what the Shulchan Aruch means. But 1 second. But if you say like we pass in Shulchan Aruch, that we pass in Shulchan Aruch that if you go mebayis labayis, you lost your kiddush, you lost your bracha. Forget it. You lost it.
I think it's
You go, 1 second. You go mebayis labayis, it's lost. Only mecheder lacheder bebayis echad. If you had bedas, you saved the day. So I would say bekiddush. What's the lomdus? The lomdus is not because now I want to eat in the other. It's not negate what you want. You see mebayis labayis. I made kiddush. I want to eat in the other bayis. It doesn't help what I want. Because when I go mecheder lacheder bebayis echad and I had bedas, it's as if it's one mokim. That's the chiddush. It's considered one mokim. So the dimyan that the Mishnah Berurah is making in the lomdus doesn't start and it doesn't end. It doesn't klep nish b'chlal. So it's not nish klep. The lomdus hot nish klep. So therefore, I think it really is a machlokes. But anyway, let's read his few words till the end. Chen kol hagdolim anayal sheitiku divrei Amogen Avram la'alocha somchu es dim di yitzil lachutz al nidin nishta mach masoynis. Mashma derag ba'oifel zeh chmiru b'devet. Eloi b'tzil lachutz. Tomorrow when we learn the Alter of Shulchan Aruch, I will show why he's wrong. And it's the Hemshech Haloshin is very meduyik and has nothing to do. If you go out of the cheder, you lost your kiddush. It's just that the Alter Rebbe later says, and all the place will say that if you wait a long time to get kiddush on a moitzi, you also lost your kiddush. But if you bring me a note, a hesach, you say that there was a bonus. You bring me a note saying that you had a valid excuse to wait an hour between kiddush and a moitzi. Forgive you.
What's the
Avol, what's a valid excuse? It's all yeah. But then the mamsheh, Avol, if you went, Mabayis L'chutz, even if you had a valid excuse, at Nishtelfen. That's the Hemshech Haloshin. So therefore, I don't, but anyway, this is what he wants to say. Pesach Dover. I found the kuntas called Pesach Dover. So I kept on clicking on in my computer until I found this special dove in the back of the sefer. So I thought I had a great shot, but I see that this kuntas special dover has 25 upshlugs from my shot. Plus, it brings from Nachlas Tzvi, which is the first commentary that was ever printed on the Shulchan Aruch, is a Talmud Bach, who says if you walk out after Kiddush, you lost your Kiddush. But you have it negative. Shorik Nesek Dola V'Yad Malach the Pshita Lahu L'Didu Have a Brachel Batol Shekadasheni V'Gam Kol HaGedolim Anal Shetik Divnei Magen Avram Mashem Gamke the Svili Kishorik Nesek Dola B'Dolo Shok Mash Kazav Nalamayla בפרט דיקה קידוש במקום סעודה רק דרבנן, בוודאי כדאי לסמוך להם בשעת חג, שלא ילכו לקדש שינוס.
That's how the belt is.
אבל לכתחילה בוודאי יש לזוהר בזה. Yeah, the Welt is soimach, that they go from the dining room to the kitchen to wash. But the Mishnah Berurah says לכתחילה anyway should be nizah. But I would say that it doesn't make a difference, even if he's wrong. Anyway, we hold that mecheder l'cheder, if you have bedas, it's not a problem. So, but we said that, but that's only, but l'chatchila you shouldn't do it. So it's nicht gefährlich. So really, it's a nice hidur if you could have the water in your dining room.
Is a sukkah worse?
But a sukkah is worse. Yeah, because a sukkah is bayis labayis.
So how do you get around that?
There's only one way. Either you build a sink in your sukkah, or you bring water into your sukkah. Or you after you make kiddush, everyone drinks at a vis, so they're already yoitza the Seudah, and then they can go out. But otherwise, I don't see an eitzah.
The problem with this.
Look at the problem. But, huh?
אם הוא רואה את הסוכה, את הבית,
או, כן, אם הוא רואה, if he goes into the house and
By
he
my
can see,
sukkah, almost, if my sink. through
you
the
could see.
window,
Okay,
I could see the sukkah.
yeah, if you could see, then that's an
Yeah,
eitzah.
it's good.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
could
it
כמה
see.
זמן הכי ארוך אפשר למשוך?
You can see the sukkah.
How long is the time?
There's no way to
So
wash.
I see the Avram Chaim
to go
Noah
to the
say
kitchen.
3 to 9 minutes. I don't think. I think it's really means
the
means a long
backyard,
time, maybe like an
Not the
hour.
backyard.
2. I don't think
You
it
go
means
to the inside.
3
There's
to
no
9
sink in the
minutes.
back, no one
3
makes
to
sense.
9 minutes. You know what that is? In my house, business there's a lot of orchim. Everyone gets in line to
39 minutes.
yeah,
39 minutes.
yeah. It's
In
not
his
3 to
building,
9.
for example,
It's 39.
Rebbe, in his building, all the
Yeah.
sukkahs are in that yard over there.
You have to go from line.
They all gotta go inside to wash.
Yeah,
And the Velkers make all the sign on something.
right.
Maybe
No,
one
there's
hour.
nothing to be said.
You don't have a
about that.
hose
Chris,
down
So-
Velkers make
What?
all.
You don't have a hose, you bring water, bottles
So the-
maybe down?
Maybe all the way in the other side, it's a backyard. With a very big backyard. They do sukkah on the right side.
Anyway, I think Bemis, that's not true. I think if you go out, if you go out, if you go out, you ruin your kiddush. Elamai, if you had bedas, most people stama kedaita. Most people, what's the nafkamina would be a funny nafkamina. If I'm right.
Good idea of the-
But that no, stama kedaita that you're gonna go into the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
That you had a bedas.
Right.
L'cheda. 1 second. But what happens if you're in someone's house and they have a sink in the dining room? So you know by kiddush, you're gonna wash in the dining room. Then you decided to be an Oiva Chochem and walk into the kitchen. So you didn't have bedas to go b'cheder l'cheder. So if I'm right that can't take knesset gdola, but that all the boys can bring the Magen Avram and that they made kipshuta that if you walked out of the room, you ruined your kiddush. You have to make kiddush again. So Taka have to make kiddush again. Just like when you go from the sukkah and you go into the bayis, and from the sink you cannot see, and the sukkah is not mechubet to the bayis.
The Kiddush again is in order to eat.
Yes, Chazal want that the kiddush should be b'mokim suda. It's not nothing to do with hes chadas.
What's the
Chazal
reason?
say
What's the
b'karosel
reason?
l'shabbos oinig that they want that
Does the house have to be on the table or allowed to have? Sometimes you keep it warm on the stove, right? You want it to be warm. I know people they bring in the house after kiddush. Is that a problem?
not a problem. You don't go to jail for that.
Huh?
You don't go to jail for that.
I understand.
Shulchan Aruch, you have to have the chalos on the table during Kiddush, Lacha Mishnah? Or not allowed to?
It's not close.
Forget it. One of the reasons we cover it, it should, it should be nikir. If you go to jail for it.
The Kiddush in shul means that even though you had a Kiddush and you ate in shul, when you go home and you want to eat again.
No, because in the you ate. Because you made kiddush and you
Kiddush on
ate.
Seudah.
But all the young Israel,
Eight,
how did
eight.
Ashkenazic shuls, the modern Orthodox shuls, they make kiddush and shul Friday night with mushroom? Well, what's the knife of this? It's not been up sukkah. Right?
Why? That's what the Gemara
But
says,
aniyim.
because they're doing it for the aniyim.
But they're not eating, they're eating.
No,
That's
Not in
taka.
nowadays.
So some person say because that called meaning afapishin is battle a tamlin is battle a takona, and some say no that there wasn't really a takona, it was only a minig and taka we shouldn't do it today. So anyway, to summarize, what was the main shiloh we dealt with tonight?
The kid drinks Orpheus. It's not.
What?
The kids. drink
That's the
When?
kiddush over there.
Kiddush young Israel.
They make kiddush. The kid drinks it.
We gotta be what?
The kid drinks
Well,
it.
the dog makes Kiddush in shul. The kid can touch it.
No, but say nobody eating shul. They're just doing it for
When they give it to a cotton, or the godel should drink it of years.
Rebbe, I was in
If you don't have
Scranton.
a cotton, that's what you're
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to do.
Go to Scranton, right?
Yeah, they do the minig.
The kid drinks the kid that they want.
Right. That's what they give it to the kid.
Same thing.
Yeah, if you don't have a kid, then a godel should drink it and drink it of years.
I guess they Kiddush at home again.
No, then he can't make it a show him again unless there's someone else at home. Yeah.
He's biting him.
Usually.
So again, to summarize what we had tonight, the main shiloh that we spoke about tonight is when a person goes at between. So we said there's man market that after kiddush you're not allowed to make a hefsek b'markim and you're not allowed to make a hefsek b'zman. And we spoke about if someone walks out of the room and comes straight back, that the Magen Avram says that he lost his kiddush. Moving if he had bedas to go machab b'cheder l'cheder, he doesn't. So the shaila is if that's true or not. Mishnah Berurah wants to say nah, that's not. I think the Magen Avram really meant it. If you walked out, you lost your kiddush, unless you taka had bedas. You have to have bedas. But most people today is tama kedaita because What do you mean? You make Kiddush, and you heard Kiddush, and you're in the dining room. You know there's no sink tip, so what do you think? Well, the sink is there's gonna
Water
come
gonna come.
where's the water gonna come from? So you know you're gonna walk into the kitchen. So Mistamas, they had bedas. So even though the Alter Rebbe says lechatchila, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do. Well, what am I supposed to do? Oh, so the mail is not a problem. But if person could have the water in the room, it's okay. But that's only lechatchila. But the suk is the oven. The suk is taka the oven.
If somebody made Kiddush before he washed his hand, he went to the bathroom. What happened then?
This is bizarre. That would be, according to the Mishnah, wouldn't be a problem. I think it would be a problem. I think that
Go make Kiddush again?
yeah.
So
Unless no, unless
Is
it's
there a clip between the
anyway.
He's an Einitz, no?
Unless no, but oinus, that's what I said. Oinus is only good when there's a hefsek man, not a mocker. Unless it's a person that always orders into the kitchen. So anyway, at bedas, he's gonna go macheder lacheder.
Right.
So say he had bedas to go in the kitchen, so he did. It's a good shaila. Say
90%
when
of
a
the
person
people
had
don't have a sink in the
Right.
so they make
Right.
Kiddush.
Right over here, we make going to the kitchen.
I'm saying no, that
Is bedas.
most of the houses.
Is that bedas? Even though Alter Rebbe says lechatchila, even though Alter Rebbe says
So
lechatchila.
it's easier. If they have the das, the one to go to
Yeah.
wash.
Maybe have a piece of cake before you go into the kitchen.
No, I think he had bedas.
Why they don't teach?
Alter Rebbe says lechatchila.
Why they don't teach the contractor, the Jewish religious contractor, when they build up his house?
In Israel, most of families, because they make the kitchen open to the dining room.
My uncle has it in the living room, but you could see it because it's
All right.
it's an arch.
Yeah, it's open for
It's
the
open.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Also,
You wanted to say
the person who made Kiddush, he drank a revius. So it's no longer a
It's
problem
easier
for him to go to the bathroom.
Bala Kiddush, 100%.
Right?
Or even wash it.
It's separate.
It's confusing.
It's like going to the next.
I hear. No, it's connected to the house.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, that's cheder l'cheder. Yeah. 100%. That would be cheder l'cheder. 100%.
המסקנה הגענו למעלה למטה, חדר לא צריך לעשות קידוש.
לא, אם יש דס. אם יש דס. Okay.
Could we make a similar one?
Yeah, let's make it Simarama. Wow, it's Tahara. Learning about Tahara, and this is about Tahara. Oh.
It's a special day.